welcome. I'm Michelle from BECTSPSA, and this is video number 3. And in this video, we're going to be looking at being on the defensive. When a traumatic event happens, a lot of times we put up our guards, okay? And we always feel that we are on the defensive, that we have to keep protecting ourselves, okay? In order to create that place of safety, in order for us to feel that we're not overwhelmed. So we want to be able to be in control. And so we're on constant watch, you know. We might be distrusting everything and everybody. Our senses are heightened, you know, hypervigilance, you know. Everything is hyperactive, you know. And sometimes individuals may feel that I can only trust myself. You know, I can't trust anybody else. I can't trust my spouse. I can't trust people, especially when you find out, you find out that other people knew and they didn't tell you. And you have to find out yourself, you know. So that sense of distrust can be very high. Okay. And so you want to be able to protect yourself. You know, some others may go to the other extremes where they don't trust themselves. It's like, oh my goodness, everybody knew, I didn't know, I didn't pick up on these things, you know, so how good is my judgment? How good is my sense of observation? You know, and so they can become very critical about themselves, very judgmental, and start to really be unfriendly and unkind to themselves, in all truthfulness, you know. And so how do you deal with that? You know, how do you create a place of safety, a place of balance, you know, where you're forgiving and understanding to yourself, that you show yourself grace, you know. If it had happened to your friend, how would you respond to that? Would you be as hard on them as you are being on yourself? And chances are you probably will not. And so we want to be able to get into that place where you're consciously communicating to yourself in a loving way, that you're consciously choosing to be supportive, to be gracious, to be kind to yourself, okay? And so one of the things that I would like us to do in this lesson is really to look at the event of what happened, okay? Your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, you know, your actions. Mm-hmm. So we're going to look at what happened. What is it that you're telling yourself about what happened? What is it that you're feeling about what happened? And then what is it that you want to do or that you want to avoid? Okay. And the result of your action. What happened because of your action? And this is conscious communication. It's unearthing what you're saying to yourself, what it is that you're really thinking, what it is that you have decided to do. I know that in the other video, we talked about this, you know, video 1. You know, we talked about your feelings, thoughts, and actions. And so now you've had a little bit of time, you know, as you turned on the lights, okay, and you dealt with things in truthfulness, in the light, in honesty. You know, you went through how you felt about the lies, the deceptions, and the breach, the integrity breach. And so now you're coming from a different place because something changed when you went through that exercise in video 2. Something changed. And now you're here. So let us see how that impacted your thoughts. What is it that you're telling yourself now in light of this revelation that you had before? Now, how are you feeling now? And what are the actions that you're taking now or that you want to take now? And then what are the results of that action? If you've taken the action already, then you'll have some results. If you haven't taken action yet, what do you think the results will be because of you taking action? And that's the exercise here, because we just want to keep unearthing stuff. So this way we're letting it out. So this way we're able to deal with it. Sometimes it might be confronting some things that are not pleasant. Other times it might just be like, oh my goodness, I didn't know that was still inside there and that it was so deep inside there. But whatever it is, and wherever you are right now, it's okay. You just want to be able to look at this in honesty, but we want to look at it from the place of being gracious, of being loving, of being kind to ourselves, in terms of being supportive of ourselves. Being a good friend to yourself, okay? Your friendship is not just for other people. Your friendship, you need to be a friend to yourself. And so I want you just to look at it that way. And sometimes this might be a little hard or challenging, okay? Well, we can actually tackle that. What would being a friend to yourself look like? And if you can't think of it, because sometimes that's hard, it's like, well, how are you a friend to other people? You listen, you comfort, you support, you encourage, you advise, okay? You tell the truth, right? You're gracious, you don't judge, right? So those are all things that you can do for yourself now. How can you be a good friend to yourself? And that's what we really want to unlock here, okay? So if your thoughts are telling you, oh man, I was stupid. Oh man, I was an idiot. Oh man, I'm this, and you're bashing yourself. That's not being a good friend. That's not being a good friend, because that's not what you would do. Okay, and so what I would like you to do is to be honest. If those are the thoughts that you're having, don't ignore them. Write them down. Okay, if that's the thought you're having. And if your thoughts are not like that, write those down too. The next step that I want you to take is, after you write all this stuff down, I want you to divide them: healthy, unhealthy, beneficial, unbeneficial. Okay? I want you to separate them. The things that you know that you want to keep and you want to incorporate because they really serve you, because they're helpful to you, then I want you to actually put that on a separate list. That these things are good for me. These things are beneficial for me. These things are life-giving for me. And then the other stuff, I want you to put it on that pile that's, these are not so helpful. These are not so beneficial. These are not life-giving for me. Okay? And we're going to do something with that. The life-giving pile, okay, because you're talking to yourself consciously. You're being honest. You're being open. Okay? You're being truthful with yourself. The life-giving pile, then you're going to decide, well, how can I get more of this? How can I put more of this in my life to help support my recovery? Okay, and we're going to come up with a plan with that. How are you going to incorporate this so this way it supports your recovery? The other pile, you can do a couple of things. You can make statements. These are not serving me anymore, and I divorce myself from it. These things are not true, and I do not embrace untrue things. I only embrace truth. These no longer serve me. They're no longer a benefit for me, and so I choose to discard them. And you can rip them up. Some people decide that they rip them up and they throw them in the garbage, throw them away. Other people decide, hey, something, this really is not serving me anymore. And so they lighted a fire, in an ashtray. Like, no longer. Some people go down to the beach because they're like, something, they tear it up. This is no longer part of my life. And so they go through that action of tearing it up, and then they throw it out into the water. While other people decide, hey, something, I am going to have a bonfire. They have a fireplace in their backyard, and they just light it and just throw it there. I'm casting this away. It's no longer part of me. And so whichever way works for you, do that. But what it's symbolizing is that it's no longer part of you. It's no longer who you are. It's no longer serving your interests. And so you don't want it to influence you. You no longer want it to be part of you. You no longer want it to have that kind of effect on you. And so you're letting it go. Okay? And you're only going to deal with those things that are actually serving you, that are actually beneficial to you, to help you in your recovery. Okay? And that's beneficial because now you have a starting point. You know what it is that is going to serve you right now. Are these going to serve you for the rest of your life? You don't know. You choose. It's up to you to decide. You may want to expand this, or you might say, okay, this serves this purpose, and then you move that out and you put something else in. But utilizing those things that are life-giving right now, the thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, the actions that are really feeding you, that's helping you to get back in balance, that's helping you to grow into the person that you want to be, that's helping you to become more confident, more supportive, more loving, a better friend to yourself. Those things. Now, how can you incorporate it into your life on a daily basis? So this way you're able to tap into that when you encounter challenging situations that trigger you, situations that cause you to relive, situations that may cause you to get angry again. Okay, how can you come from this place of service, of love, of grace to actually help you, okay, to show up the way that you want to show up and to be the person that you want to be. But then it can also help you to heal yourself. It's very hard to heal yourself and to start the process of healing if you're constantly tearing down yourself. And that is what is so vital, so important about this exercise right here. It's because you're realizing now that you don't want to sabotage yourself, that you don't want to be the person that's causing extra wounding on yourself. You don't want to be the person that keeps that wound open so this way it can't heal. Okay? Granted, your spouse played his part. He might still be doing things, but you don't have to help him. You don't have to be a party to that. And this here is what you can do to help heal you, what you are in control over. You are in control over what you think about yourself. You are in control over how you choose to feel about yourself and the situation. You are in control over the actions that you take. Okay? Excuse me. Okay? And so you can be in control over this. You can influence yourself and how you go forward. The wonderful thing about doing this is that when you make up your mind, you start to change. Things start to get put into place where it's no longer the same. And so you're not going to show up the same. You're not going to respond the same. You're not going to react the same because you're not thinking the same. And so inevitably, things have already begun to change because you're changing. And it may not seem like it's a major step. It might not seem as it's a big deal, but it really is. It is a big deal. Okay? And I commend you for it because you're showing up and you're tackling these things that are hitting you at a deeper level. Right? And that's commendable. That's extraordinary. All right? And so I just want to say thank you so much for showing up. Now, the conscious communication tool will be in the download. And then also the sheets that will help you to step through that whole process where you're going deeper and you're dividing now. Beneficial, not beneficial, life-giving, non-life-giving, serving me, not serving me. That you'll be able to divide those up and then decide what it is that you want to do with it. Okay? But when you discard it, don't pick it up again. don't start to talk to yourself, that I'm this, that, and the other, unless it's life giving. And so by doing this, it's going to force you, in a sense, to be more conscientious and to be more aware of what it is that you're saying to yourself and what it is that you're feeling, and then what it is that you're doing based on that. It's going to bring those things that might have been unconscious, reactionary stuff that you didn't really think about, but that is there playing and affecting you. It's going to bring it now to the conscious level. And the wonderful thing about this is that it's going to help you to release those emotions. So this way you don't have blockages in your energy fields, that you don't have blockages inside of you, okay, which could cause you to start getting sick, that can cause you to become listless and, depressed, and I should say even more depressed or more drained. Okay, so you're starting to free up those avenues. So this way now you'll be able to get life-giving energy to yourself. So this way you're able to get yourself back in that place of balance. Okay, and that's part of recovery. That's part of healing. Okay, and it's beneficial. And so I just wanted to encourage you with this, that this is a powerful tool that you can use anytime, and you can use it for any event that's happening, where you can dissect it in those sections and then really go even further to see how beneficial is this for me. And you can choose what it is that you want to do once you're aware of it. And that's what it is. The power of choice is in your hands. Okay, your recovery is dependent on your next choice. So what are you going to choose to do? Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. And lesson 4 is coming up. Again, I'm Michelle from BECTSPSA. Thank you.